Okay, the first thing you want to do for your air brakes, when you come in the truck, make sure you come in with 3 points of contact. You're going to put your seatbelt on, let them know you're going to do your air brakes and in-cab inspection. Just keep in mind for the air brakes and in-cab, you can do it in any order. This is just the order that I recommend. So when you come in, 3 points of 3 points of contact, get in your vehicle, adjust your seat, adjust your mirrors, put your seatbelt on for your safety. Talk about your gauges in this vehicle. You're going to let them know your primary gauge is for your tractor. Your secondary gauge is for your trailer. Both read in increments of 40 from 0 to 180. Let them know you're going to put on accessory. Turn your key once. All your lights on your dash, including your DF, DPF, ABS, high beam signal, hazard, all your indicator lights on your dash came on and off, indicating they're working properly. For your safe start, you always want to double check that your knobs are applied, that you're in neutral, and you're going to let them know before you start it that you're going to deplete your air. You want to deplete your air anything past 100, so right there is good. And you let them know you deplete your air to do your air gauge and governor cutoff check. The reason for this test to make sure that your air gauges are working properly and that your governor cuts off between 120 and 140. Then go ahead and start your truck. You're going to accelerate no more than 1200 RPM. You're doing this just to help build the pressure. Meanwhile, you want to look at your primary and your secondary. Make sure they're building pressure. You can let them know from this point forward you're going to go based on your primary gauge. Okay, so it's building pressure. If you don't hear the sneeze, you know that you're at max when your needles stop moving. So right there, my primary is reading at 120. So this is a good test because my air gauges are working properly and my governor cut off between 120 and 140. Next, you let them know you're going to do your air leakage rate test. The reason for this test, you're checking for leaks in the system. So you're going to go ahead and turn off the vehicle. Put it back in accessory. You're going to let your needle stabilize. You're going to release your tractor and your trailer brake. Let your needle stabilize. Okay, once you hear no more air coming out and your needles have stabilized, you're going to hold your service brake. And you're going to let your needle stabilize again. Okay, right now my primary is reading at 80 psi. It's right in the middle. So for the next minute, starting now, no combination vehicles should lose more than 4 psi in this minute. And you're going to hold your service brake down and even until the minute's up. So you want to make sure you remember what you called out. In this instance, we called out 80 psi. And also at the beginning, if you're in automatic, make sure you chalk your wheels before you start. If you're in the manual, everything is the same. Other than for this test, you would put it in first gear before you turn it off. Okay, so right now 35 seconds. We're watching our primary, making sure we're not losing air. Okay, 52 seconds. And we're still at 80 psi. Okay, minutes up. My primary still reads 80 psi. This is a good test because in this minute we did not lose any pressure or no more than 4 psi. Then you can go ahead and release your service brake. Your next test will be your air warning device test. The reason for this test is to make sure that your line buzzer activate no lower than 55 psi. And for this vehicle, you will not hear the buzzer unless the engine is running. Okay, so all you're going to do is fan your brake, fan your service brake, watch your primary, fan your service brake, watch your primary, fan your brake, Okay, my light's activated. Okay, my primary is reading at 59 psi. This was a good test because both my lights activated, no lower than 55 psi. For the next test you're going to do is your emergency brake test, or also known as your pop-out test. Make sure you don't touch your knobs. They've been applied. They've been released since you started your air brakes. So you're going to go ahead and let them know. Emergency brake test, the reason for this, to make sure that your spring brakes or tractor trailer brakes pop out between 20 and 45 psi. So you want to keep an eye on your knobs, and you're going to fan your brakes. Okay, as you see, both knobs popped out. Your primary is reading 20 psi. This was a good test because both spring brakes applied no lower than 20 psi. Then after this, before you start anything, if you're in automatic, you're going to take the key with you and you're going to unchock the wheels. And make sure you put them back to where they go. They go up here. And when you get back in, make sure you use 3 points of contact. And we did take the key with us. When you come back in, make sure you put your seatbelt on. Okay, let them know that now you're going to build max pressure to do your next test, which would be your parking and trailer brake check, also known as a tug test. Put in accessory, check your brake knobs, check your neutral, and then you're going to start your truck. So you do have the option right now, as you're building pressure, to do your in-cab. I would recommend you to do that. For this video, we're just going to do air brakes, and then I'll do another video for in-cab. But you do have enough time to let your pressure build. Let them know you're going to do your in-cab. For your in-cab, you'll do your 3 emergency equipment, which is your ABC fire extinguisher, your 3 reflective triangles, your 6 extra fuses. You do all your windows, all your mirrors, your air horn, your city horn, your defrost. You demonstrate your windshield wipers, demonstrate your signals. For the lights, clearance, headlights, all fog lights, which is also including all lights, your high beams. And I would recommend talking about your tractor and trailer brake knobs. Tractor is yellow, trailer is red. They're both not cracked, broken, or leaking air. Why it's important to check them, especially parking in an up or downhill. You don't roll forward or backward. For now, we're going to go ahead and accelerate. Let them know you're building max pressure. Okay, so there's the sneeze. For your next test, you're going to do your tug test, parking trailer brake check. So for this test, you would hold your service brake, you would put it in drive, you would release your tractor brake to test your trailer brake, and you would just accelerate a little bit, feel a tug. Once you feel the tug, pull your parking brake, release your trailer brake. Now you're testing your parking brake. Same thing, accelerate, feel the tug. Once you feel the tug, pull both brakes. Make sure you go back to neutral. You let them know this is a good test because both your tractor and trailer brakes held separately. Then for your last test is called your service brake test. The reason for this test to make sure that your service brakes are working properly. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold your service brake, you're going to put it in drive, you're going to release your tractor and trailer brake, and you're going to pull forward without holding the steering wheel. Pull forward about 5 feet, stop, put your service brake, pull your brakes, double check both of them, put it in neutral. This is a good test because when you applied your service brake, the truck came to a complete stop and the truck did not pull left or right, indicating a service issue. And this concludes your air brakes test. If you did them together while you're building pressure, this will conclude your air brakes and in-cab. And as I didn't mention in the beginning, make sure you chalk your wheels for automatic. Thank you very much.